what's up everybody? It's Landon with LMR.com and it's episode 5, Godzilla Swapped Fox Body Mustang, and we've kind of dubbed the car Green Goblin. From part 4 where we left off, we kind of finalized it there. You know, still needed to figure out a little bit of stuff in the calibration. All that has been sorted. We're good to go. We're ready to turn it up, put it on the dyno, get some weight, and then head to the track. That's what we're gonna do today. I have it sitting here on our 4-post lift. We'll get it up in the air, we'll get it strapped down, and we'll turn the rollers. But before we do turn the rollers, we're gonna do some tinkering. We'll make a run with the way the car sits, a little homemade cold air kit hooked up. Then we'll take the cold air kit off, make a run, and then just because of the inside of the engine, kind of some old school trickery here, disconnect the mid pipe and run open headers and see if any horsepower or torque increase by doing that little trick. Flip you around to the engine bay, give you one good updated shot of where it sits. There's our, homemade cold air kit. It serves a really good purpose for what we need. There's our nice, cool little trick. Throttle body adapter. That way we can run the 2.5-inch Cervini's cow hood. And then I'm gonna go ahead and clear the air too. Whenever we do disconnect our homemade cold air kit, if you're in the staging lane at the track, you're gonna get some hot air off the radiator, and it's gonna be pulling some of that hot air into the engine. So before we get rolling, the car does have Ollie's calibration from OBR Control Systems. We didn't really make any tweaks or adjustments to the calibration. Kind of early on, we thought it may have needed some adjustments, but it didn't. Of course, we have 93 octane fuel in the tank, and all of our pulls are gonna be made in 4th gear, which isn't truly one-to-one with the 6R80 transmission, but it's as close as we can get. Enough of me talking. Let's go ahead and make the first pull. In stock trim, cold air kit hooked up, and the exhaust hooked up. All right, so here's our results. In stock trim, well, I say stock trim, kind of a crate engine Godzilla without any cylinder head work, aftermarket camshaft, aftermarket intake manifold. Y'all know what I mean. 409 horsepower at 5,100 RPM, 477 pound-feet of torque. That's not too bad, that's strong, because the Godzilla crate engine is rated at 430 horsepower, 475 pound-feet of torque at the flywheel. So very small amount of horsepower loss, and the car is actually making 2 pound-feet more torque to the tire than it's rated at the flywheel. That's kind of neat. All right, folks, that's run number 1. We're gonna unhook the cold air kit and make another hit. All right, so kind of to be expected. We were thinking that there was probably a little bit of power on the table there with our homemade cold air kit. Looks like it proves to be that way. But with the cold air kit unhooked, 418 horsepower at the same RPM, 5,100, and then just a small bump in torque, 478.6 pound-feet of torque at 4,000 RPM. Not saying that our cold air kit was put on there to make power. We put it on there so it kind of gave it a more complete look, because we like to tinker and we like to do, so that's why we did it. But man, I'm gonna flip y'all back around. Look past 4,500 RPM, it starts to come to life, as you start turning some RPM. So that's pretty neat to see. In case you're wondering, this little blip down here, that's just some weird erratic feedback from the pickup whenever I stop the run or apply the brake to the drum on the dyno. All right, people, so that's run 2. We'll disconnect the mid pipe back, and then we'll run open headers and see what we get. All right, so we just made a pull with open headers. It sounds damn good. I mean, rightfully so, right? But in case you're wondering, I mentioned the exhaust in episode 4. It's full 3-inch all the way back. We have high flow catalytic converters and Jones full bore mufflers. These results are pretty neat to see. No cold air, open headers, 416.5 horsepower at 5,100 RPM. So that's awesome to see the consistency there where it's making peak power. Our torque, I saw a little bit of bump at peak, 479.7 pound-feet of torque at 3,900 RPM. But what I want y'all to pay attention to is down here at about 2,500 to about 3,500, your green line that you're looking at, that is the run with no cold air and open headers. Look at the drop in the curve in torque. Or what that's from is limited back pressure, and the scavenging aspect of the exhaust is no longer present. So you see that drop in torque in the lower torque curve. And also what's cool to note is catalytic converters, the 3-inch exhaust, and the Jones full bore mufflers really isn't robbing any power. So that's some cool data to know as well. All right, people, so that's our 3 runs. That's kind of what we were going going for. We wanted to just do a quote unquote stock hit if you must. We wanted to pull the cold air kit off just to see if there was some power on the table from that. There was. And then just kind of the old school trick of the trade of, you know, some of the big block stuff, disconnect the exhaust and see if there's any power to be had there. To our knowledge, there wasn't. There was that little bit of jump in torque there at peak, but curve gains down low, you know, it actually hurt the car disconnecting the exhaust. So, all right, so that's going to complete the dyno stuff for part 5. I'm going to get it off our 4-post lift here, and we'll get it on the scales and get some weight. Got the car off the dyno. Went ahead and loaded it onto our wireless ProForm scales. We're going to get the weight of the car. And kind of as it sits, I mean, y'all have seen it progress through the series. I would categorize this as a really good street strip car. We put interior back in it. No, it doesn't have a back seat. It has lightweight race seats, tubular K-member. It does have AC, fiberglass hood. Of course, this is all how each individual sees it, but to me, this kind of falls in line of a really good street strip car. We do have a full tank of gas in it, and if you do the math, crunch the numbers, a gallon of gas weighs about 6 pounds, about 90 pounds, give or take. If y'all want to, we all have calculators, you know, y'all can add, subtract, do whatever you want to do. Got it on the scales. We'll take a look at our LCD screen. We let the car sit on the scales for about 3 to 5 minutes, and then even with that, it did kind of creep up a little bit, you know, per pound, but hey, we're splitting hairs at that point. This car didn't have to meet any weight requirements or anything like that, and it came in about 3190, 3191. You might as well go ahead and round that up to 3,200 pounds. Considering what all the car has, even with that, you know, big 7.3 liter Godzilla engine, you know, it's an iron block, aluminum heads, composite intake manifold, 3,200 pounds isn't too bad. So there you go, folks. We got some good data going so far. We got some good dyno numbers. We got some weight. So the next time we see you, we'll be at the track. All right, people, so we made it to the drag strip. You just saw the dyno run. You just saw us weigh the car. So basically, we're gonna see what the car runs now. We know the horsepower, the torque, and how much the car weighs. It does weigh 3,200 pounds, as you saw. Scott Hubbard's gonna be the one driving the car today. He weighs about 200 pounds. So race weight, we're gonna call it 3,400 pounds. I'd like to point out, this is a stock truck engine. Got it from our website, and it's a Ford Performance branded engine. It's conservative tune. It has a 327 rear gear. Got a pretty good day today, 1600 DA. See how many passes we can make, show you guys a few, and then we'll talk about our times here in just a moment. All right, people, let's go ahead and check out some results. But before we do, we ran this car 18 times. Pretty impressive. Scott Hubbard primarily is the one that built this car. We had a lot of hands to help build the car, but he was the one that primarily turned most of the wrenches on this thing. So hats off to him for building one hell of a car. Several 11-second passes, several consistent passes. We played around with it a little bit throughout the day. You know, we messed with our transmission controller, the Quick Shift 6. Mike here at the track helped us set some tire pressure. But at the end of the day, with all those passes, those 18 passes, I would say that kind of got it where we wanted in terms of, I guess, our virgin or maiden voyage here to the track. Did 11:17 at 120.22 miles an hour, and it cut a 164.60 foot. And with anything, you know, more track time, more seat time, you know, the name of the game is, you know, hopefully to get faster. So that's what we're gonna do. You know, we're gonna play around with it. As of now, you know, that's gonna conclude the Godzilla series. I know we're not gonna stop there, so y'all always stay tuned with what we have. And then I'd also like to give a shout out to Little River Dragway for having us out on this great afternoon. Opened up the facility for us and let us, you know, run the Goblin. We had a really good time, so thanks to those guys. That's all we have for you today. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Remember to like the video, subscribe to our channel, turn on notifications. Until we catch you next one, you know what to do for all things Fox Body Mustang. Keep it right here with the real enthusiasts. LMR. Bye.